All right, we're going to get ourselves set up as normal. So let's position those feet. Have a little look down. We want to make sure those feet are directly underneath the hips. I want you to...
I can hardly hear you, sorry.
You can't hear me?
You're very quite faint. If you could just do it a little bit louder.
I'll try and talk a little bit louder.
Okay.
Can you hear that? Okay, right. So we're going to set ourselves up. Feet hip distance apart. Look down at your feet. Check that they are parallel and the toes are lined up. I'm going to get you to pick up the toes, spread them out, and plant them back down. Okay, from there, let's start to work up the body. So we've got the feet nice and even between the left and right, front to back, inside and outside. The knees, a little bit of a softness to them, a little bit of a bounce. Fingertips on those hip bones, thumbs tucked around behind. A couple of little pelvic tilts of the spine. So gently allowing that pelvis to tilt forwards, which is going to give us that curve in our lower spine. And then tilting that pelvis backwards to give that flat back. Couple more. And then start to make that movement just a little bit smaller and a little bit smaller until you find that level pelvis. From there, arms down by our sides. Gently drawing that lower belly in towards the spine. We've got a nice strong core right from the beginning. We're going to inhale those shoulders up to the ears and exhale them back and down. Inhaling and exhaling. Think about those shoulder blades pulling apart and then squeezing together as we draw them back down. One more. And we're just going to tuck those shoulder blades down the back, creating this lovely length through the neck. Let's open through the collarbones, crown of the head up to the ceiling. And let's turn that head left and right a few times. Just starting to mobilize through the neck. Listening to your body, see how you're feeling. And then we're going to bring the face back to center. From there, I want you to drop your chin to the chest. Feel that stretch running down the back of your neck, from the base of your skull, all the way into those upper back muscles. We're going to keep the chin tucked down and inhale and exhale one ear over to one shoulder. Inhale as we bring that chin back down. And exhale over to the other side. Just inhaling and exhaling. Let's just go for one more before we bring that head back up to center. We're going to move on to a little bit of shoulder mobility now. So we're going to inhale the arms up to the ceiling and exhale them back and down. Now as we bring the arms up, we want to try not to flare the rib cage forwards. We want to try and isolate the movement just to the actual shoulder joint. So keep that lower belly drawn in. We're going to bring a little bit of balance into it. So the next time the arms come up, we're going to lift the heels as well. So think about the crown of the head drawing you up. And then the heels come down with the arms. So we're just trying to work a little bit on ankle stability. Trying to keep the big toe joint down on the floor. And one last one. Lifting those heels. And then lowering those heels all the way down. From there, we're going to do some roll downs. I'm going to turn sideways on. We're going to inhale the arms up to the ceiling. And we're going to exhale as we roll ourselves all the way down. Now we're looking for that lovely roundness of the spine. Again, keeping the knees soft. Try not to lock out those knees. We want to just lose any tension from the shoulders, lose any tension from the neck. So just allow that crown of the head to pull you down towards the floor. Big breath in and out. As we exhale on this next one, we're going to roll ourselves all the way back up. Rebuilding, restacking that spine. We're going to do that one more time. Inhale the arms up. Exhale as we roll ourselves all the way down. Again, losing any tension from the shoulders, from the neck. Feeling that nice stretch running all the way down the back of the body. Now on the next exhale, let's bend those knees and come down to a high kneeling position, where we're going to do a little bit of lateral flexion. So again, just check in with that center. We're going to inhale. We're going to exhale over to one side, reaching those fingertips down towards the floor. Inhale back up to center and exhale as we roll down sideways to the other side. Again, inhaling up, exhaling down. We may or may not be able to touch the floor, depends how long your arms are, how much flexibility you have in your waist. 2 more. And last one. From there, we're going to come down onto all fours. We're going to do a little bit of thread the needle for our rotation. So let's just set those knees up underneath the hips. Those hands are underneath the shoulders. And those shoulder blades are pulled down your back. We're going to take the left arm, thread it in between the knee and the arm. If you can, resting down on your head and shoulder, back of the arm. We can float the other arm up to the ceiling if that is comfortable for you. Inhale that hand down. We're going to exhale and we're going to bring the arm through and rotate that arm up to the other side. We're going to bring that hand back to the floor. We're going to swap sides, threading the right arm through and bringing the other arm up to the ceiling. Bringing that hand down, bringing the arm through and rotating up to the ceiling the other side. That's it. Then we're going to place both hands down and just sit back into a little child's pose. I want you to stretch off that spine and then just gently allow those hips just to roll side to side, just stretching through the lower back muscles. And then coming back up to all fours again. Let's do a little bit of cat-cow. We're going to start, for the first 2 cats, we're going to start from the curve in the spine, from the base of the spine, working upwards. The second 2 lots of cat, we're going to work from the top of the spine, working down. So let's take a breath in. As we exhale, I want you to start to tuck your tailbone under. I want the curve to start at the lower spine. Then that curve is going to travel all the way up to the top of the spine where we can gently drop the chin. Come back to your neutral spine and then straight through into a nice little cow stretch. So the pelvis tilts the opposite way. The bottom sticks out, shoulder blades drawn down your back. Come back to neutral. Again, cat stretch, working from the base of the spine upwards. Really hollowing out that belly. Coming back to neutral. Straight through into cow stretch. Back to neutral. Now this time in cat, we're going to start from the top of the spine and work down. So start by pushing those hands into the mat. So you're trying to push them through the mat into the floor. Then allow the tailbone to be tucked under last of all. Find your neutral, back through to cow. We're going to do that one more time. Back to neutral, cat stretch, working from the top down. Back to neutral, finding our last cow stretch, shoulder blades drawn down the back, and then again finding that neutral alignment. From there we're going to come to seated with our feet right at the bottom end of our mats. Sitting nice and tall, lovely tall spine, long neck, crown of the head reaching upwards. We're going to start with some half roll-ups. So let's bring those arms out in front of us. We're going to inhale. We're going to exhale and start with that tilt of the pelvis. So the lower back rounds first. We're just going to come back halfway, scooping that belly in. We're going to take a breath in and exhale as we roll ourselves all the way back up to that tall spine. And again, rolling back. Inhale, scoop a little bit deeper, exhale back up. We're going to add some arm raises on the next one. Let's find that half roll back position. We're going to hold it. We're going to float the right arm up to the ceiling and down. And the left arm. And down. Now, can we try double arms, both together, bringing them up and down. Hopefully you can feel this in the core. One more, up and down. Then rolling ourselves all the way back up again. We're going to do that again. Okay, find your roll back position. This time we're going to add an opposite leg raise with the arm. So right arm, left leg comes up and lower it down. Left arm, right leg up and lower it down. We're going to bring both arms up but just the left leg. And then both arms and the right leg. Then coming all the way back up to that lovely tall spine. One more time. Same thing. Rolling ourselves back. Right arm, left leg. And down. Left arm, right leg. And down. Left leg with both arms. And right leg, both arms. Coming all the way back up. Tall spine. Let's stretch those legs out in front of us. And we're going to come into spine stretch forwards. Bringing those hands towards the feet, towards the ankles, towards the shins. Grab hold wherever you can reach to, grab hold. Keep drawing that belly button in and breathe. Okay, from there we're going to roll ourselves up and then we're going to roll ourselves all the way down onto the floor. That's it. You're going to step your feet in close to your bottom and we're going to do a little bit of bridge work. So just make sure those feet are hip distance apart, heels quite close to your bottom, arms down by your sides, tucking those shoulder blades down. Basic bridge to begin with. Let's take a breath in. As we exhale, we're going to imprint that spine into the floor. Start to peel the tailbone up, peeling that spine up off the floor, one bone at a time. until we're in that lovely bridge position. Straight line from the knees down through to the shoulders. Inhale in, and let's exhale as we roll it back down. Again, we're trying to place one bone down at a time. Let's do that again. Same thing. Rolling ourselves up, peeling that spine up, looking for that very steady pelvis, level pelvis. Inhale at the top and exhale as we roll it back down again. Okay, we're going to float the arms up to the ceiling for this next one. Keeping the arms pointing upwards, let's roll ourselves back up again. So imprinting, tailbone peels up off the floor. Okay, from there, I'm going to get you to lift your toes and the ball of the feet off the floor. So we're just balanced on our heels. And then we're going to place the foot down flat and then lift the heels. Just rolling backwards and forwards on those feet. Lifting the toes, then lifting the heels. Toes, heels, one more time. And then placing those feet down flat. We're going to now bring the right leg up into tabletop. At the same time, we're going to bring the left arm overhead. We're going to do our best to keep the pelvis level and not drop the hips. We're going to place that foot back down, bringing the arm back up. Change over, left leg is going to raise as the right arm comes overhead. Now, if it's too much to have the arms up to the ceiling, you could always bring your arms back down to the floor. You can also make the little leg lifts lower if you need to. So we're balancing on the shoulder blades, the back of the head, and that single foot. We're going to go for 4, 3, 2 and 1, and we're going to roll that spine back down, hug the right knee into the chest, hug the left knee into the chest, and gently rock side to side, easing off that lower back, reducing any tension. From there, we're going to take the hands behind the head and bring the legs into tabletop. Okay. We're going to start with just some little curl ups. The legs are going to stay in tabletop. We're just going to bring the head and shoulders off the floor. Take a breath in. As we exhale, peel the head, peel the shoulder blades up, gently cradling the head, and inhale back down. We're going to do that again. Peeling up and down. 2 more. Scooping in that lower belly. Try and check that you're not pulling on that head. Next time we come up, we're going to extend the right leg straight. Bring it back to tabletop as we come down. Then the left. Now we can challenge ourselves a little bit more by taking that leg straight but lower towards the floor. Or if you want to make it a little bit easier for ourselves, we can extend that leg higher up to the ceiling. So always working at the most appropriate level for you. On the next one, we're going to keep the head and shoulders raised. That leg is extended. Can we lower and lift that leg for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We're going to bring that leg back to tabletop as we come back down. Next time we come up, we're going to extend the left leg straight. Keep the head and shoulders raised as we lower and lift that left leg. Last 2. We're going to bring that leg back to tabletop as we bring our head and shoulders down. Take the right foot to the floor, followed by the left. Stretch out those legs, reach those arms overhead, and allow that front core to get a bit of a gentle stretch. We're going to move on to some side line work next. So when you're ready, roll onto your sides. I just want you to start by resting on your bottom forearm. Legs can just be bent at the moment. I'm going to do a little bit of work for the shoulder blade area to begin with. I want you to place the top hand just on that rib cage, that lower rib cage. Okay. Now what I want you to do is I want you to sink that rib cage down towards the floor. Shoulder is coming up towards the ear. Now push that forearm down to lift those ribs. So we're making a really strong triangle shape. Let's do that again. So allowing the ribs to collapse down to the floor and then driving that bottom arm down to get that strong triangle. Let's go for one more. So really setting those shoulder blades in place as we press ourselves up. From there, that's the position I want to keep now. So when we start to get a little bit tired with the legs, I want to try not to collapse down. Okay? So, top leg, we're going to extend straight, about the height of your hip. We're going to start with a pointed foot. You're going to inhale. On the exhale, we're going to bring that leg forwards, scooping the belly in, and draw it back, just taking it beyond the line of the body. Exhaling forwards, inhaling back. Now, when we bring the leg back this time, I want you to flex the foot. Kick forwards with a flexed foot, draw back with a flexed foot. Body is staying nice and still. 3, 2, and 1. At that point, rest that leg down. We are now going to come all the way down onto our sides, resting your head on your bottom arm. We're going to have the top leg nice and straight. And we're going to do our lift and lowers. So we're going to have a flexed foot to begin with. We want a little bit of lift in our lower waist, so try not to collapse that waist into the floor. Keep that top hip stacked over that bottom hip. We're going to lift that flexed foot up to the ceiling. We're going to point at the top. We're going to lower down pointed. We're going to flex at the bottom to lift, point and lower. Next time that leg comes up, we're going to keep it up. We're going to point. We're going to circle it forwards, down, back and up for 8. and 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2 and 1. Let's reverse it for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2 and 1. Bend that top knee, bring it down across, give that hip a little rub. We're going to keep the leg where it is, resting in front of us. We're going to stretch out that bottom leg nice and straight. Now, we're going to be lifting the bottom leg up and down now, but I want to try and lead with the inner ankle. So we're not trying to lead with the toes, we're not trying to lead up with the heels. We're going to try and keep that foot parallel to the floor. So let's flex that foot. Inhale, exhale to lift, inhale to lower. And I want you to find that highest point you can lift. Still holding the core in. On the next lift, we're going to hold that leg up. We're going to point the toes. We're going to circle forwards, down, back and up. 2 and 1. We're going to reverse it backwards for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2 and 1. Rest that leg down. We're not going to go straight onto the other side. We're going to do a little bit of work for the back of the body now. So let's roll onto our fronts. We're going to be doing the dart. So I'm going to get you to bring your arms down by your sides. Thumbs pointing downwards, little fingers pointing upwards. We're going to lift in 3 parts. We're going to lead with the arms. Once the arms are lifted, we're going to lift the chest. Once the chest is lifted, we're going to lift both legs. So take a breath in. Exhale the arms, chest, legs, and lower everything. So arms, chest, legs, and lower. And continue. We're going to do one more. And resting down. From there, I'm going to get you just to rest your forehead on the back of your hands. We're going to take the focus to the glutes and the hamstrings. We're going to do 8 lift and lowers with both legs. Into 8 bend and straighten. On the 8th bent leg, we're then going to flex the feet and pulse up towards the ceiling. So 8 reps of each of those 3 exercises. So let's start with straight leg, lift and lowers. Exhaling both legs up, squeezing those glutes and lower down. And 7 and down. Last 2. Now on the next one, try to keep the thighs slightly lifted. We're now going to bend the knees and straighten. Bend and straighten. 4, 3, 2, keep them bent, flex the feet. We're going to start pulsing the feet up to the ceiling, squeezing those glutes. We're going to go for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower the legs, straighten the legs. Let's sit back into a little child's pose. Stretching out those glutes, releasing any tension from the back. And then we're going to come down onto our other side to repeat the side lying series again. We're going to start with the setting up the shoulder blade. So top hand just holding underneath that rib cage. Let's sink down. Let's sink those ribs down towards the floor. And then drive that forearm down to lift the ribs. That's it. Again. Shoulder blade glides up. Shoulder blade glides back down into place. Last one. And then keeping those shoulder blades down nice and strong, we're going to extend the top leg straight. We're going to lift it just about the height of the hip, pointed foot. We're going to exhale as we start to draw it forwards. Inhale as we take it back just beyond the centre line of our bodies. Exhaling forwards, scooping that belly, inhaling back. Two more. Now the next time we're going to flex the foot, keeping it flexed, bringing it forwards and back. Just check in with that rib cage, check in with that bottom shoulder blade. Last two. And when that leg comes back, we are now going to come all the way down onto our sides, resting our head onto our bottom arm. Ready for those lift and lowers now. Let's get those hips nicely stacked. Sensation of lifting that lower waist. We're going to extend the top leg straight. Flexed foot to lift. Pointed foot to lower. Flex to lift. Point to lower. We're keeping those hips nicely stacked. On the next one, let's keep that leg raised. Point the toes. We're going to circle forwards, down, back and up for 8. 7, 6. Keeping the body as stable as you can. 3, 2 and 1. Let's reverse it for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2 and 1. Bend that knee, bring it across, give that hip a little rub. And then we're going to extend that bottom leg straight. Flexed foot, we're going to lead with the inner ankle bone. Take a breath in, exhale as we lift, inhale as we lower. Checking that we are getting that full height that leg allows. Still lovely and strong in the centre. This time keep that leg raised, point the toes. We're going to circle forwards, down, back and up for 8. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2 and 1. Let's reverse it for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2 and 1, and rest that leg back down. Okay, from there we're going to roll back onto our backs. Let's have those feet quite close to your bottom. Feet and knees together. Let's take those arms to about 45 degrees. Just allow both knees just to drop from one side and over to the other. A little bit of spine twist before we go into our pendulum. So the opposite hip bone raises up off the floor as we roll, and I tilt that pelvis one side to the other. Okay, next time the knees are back up to centre. Trying to keep that spine in neutral. We're going to bring the right leg into tabletop, followed by the left. Joining those knees and feet together. Let's take a breath in. As we exhale, drop your knees over to the left. Your right hip's going to come off the floor. Find that point where you can still keep both shoulder blades down. Take a breath in. As you exhale, scoop your belly and draw those knees up and over. Find the stretch now through the left side of the waist. Inhale. Exhale. Again, scoop that belly in and bring those legs back up and over. We're going to do a few of those. Okay, we're going to add a little leg extension. So next time the legs are dropped over to the left, pause, extend both legs straight, bend the knees, bring yourself up and over to the right. Extend those legs straight, pause, bend, and come back through and over. So just making this one just a little bit more challenging. You can obviously leave out the leg extension if you need to. Two more. And last one. Before bringing those legs back to center, hugging those knees in towards the chest. I want to really draw those knees in. Let's pick up the head and shoulders. Let's make ourselves into a little ball. We are going to start to gently rock forwards and backwards. So we want the most rounded spine that we can manage. And then we're going to roll ourselves all the way up to seated. We're going to go into our rolling like a ball. So holding onto those shins, finding that rounded spine. We want to tuck the chin under. We're going to start to lean back, start to pick those toes off the floor. Take a breath in, and then we're going to roll and roll ourselves back up again. That's it. So the more rounded the spine, the smoother the roll. Then we want to start to get a little bit of control in that roll. So we want to see if we can balance without putting our feet back down on the return. We're going to go for one more of those. And then a little optional extra, this is going to take us into our final stretches. Adding a little teaser hold to the end of each of those rolling like a ball. So once you've rolled back, find your balance, bringing those legs and arms straight in front, tucking and rolling. Last two. That's it. And then once you come back up, we're going to roll back down onto the floor. We're going to come into our stretches now. I want you to step those feet in towards your bottom. We're going to cross the right ankle over the left knee. And I just want you just to gently push into the inside of that right knee. Push that knee away from you. Let's get a nice little stretch in that hip. We did quite a lot of hip work today, so I want to spend a little bit of time stretching out. Now, just let go of the knee. We're going to pick up the left foot off the floor, holding onto that left thigh, drawing it in towards you to feel that nice stretch on that right glute, right hip. If that stretch eases off, you can just drive that knee back in a little bit closer towards you to increase that stretch a little bit more. Okay, from there, place your left foot back on the floor, uncross your legs, left ankle over right thigh, and gently push into that left knee. Push it away from you. Let's open up the inside of that hip socket. Okay, just release the knee. Now we're going to pick the right foot off the floor, hold on to the back of the right thigh, gently draw the legs in towards us. Okay, let's place the right foot back down on the floor. Uncross your legs. We're going to roll onto our fronts. I'm going to get you to rest on your forearms. So elbows are underneath the shoulders. So belly is just starting to lift off the floor. We're pushing those shoulder blades down the back. Then from there, we're going to inhale. As we exhale, keep the hands down, but start to lift the elbows to come into a nice spine extension, keeping the hips on the floor so that we can really stretch through the abdominals. Drawing that belly button back towards the spine. Big deep breaths in and out. If it's a lot on your lower spine, just lower yourself down a little bit. You don't have to come up too high on this one. Just keep that belly button drawn in. Okay, come back down onto the forearms. Let's sit ourselves back into a little child's pose. That's it, reaching those arms forwards. And now come up to all fours. Let's just come into a nice little cat stretch, really rounding through that spine, scooping that belly in. Before we come to seated. I'm going to get us to sitting with mermaid legs, if that is comfortable for you. So I've got my left foot against my right thigh. And then my right hand, nearest my foot, I'm going to turn the palm upwards. I'm going to inhale that arm up to the ceiling. Then I'm going to exhale and I'm going to come into a little side bend, trying to get my left arm, forearm to the floor. So I'm getting a really nice deep stretch. Nice bit of mermaid stretch. Now bring that right arm back up to the ceiling. Pull yourself all the way up. Let's swap those legs around. So right foot is on the left thigh. Left arm is extended, palm facing up. Inhaling it up. Exhaling it up and over. Coming down onto that right forearm. Really breathing into the sides of the rib cage. And then pushing ourselves all the way up. Find yourself in a comfortable seated position for you. Still sitting nice and tall. Crown of the head still reaching up to the ceiling. We're going to finish with our shoulder rolls with our last lot of big deep breaths. So inhaling those shoulders up to the ears. And exhaling them back and down. Inhaling. And exhaling. Last two. And last one. This time, those shoulder blades are just going to fall softly down the back as though you're trying to tuck them into your back pockets. And well done.